$34,000. That's how much we helped an online tutor make in a single month when we took over their ad account. So in this video, I'm going to give you a behind the scenes look of exactly what we did, the entire metrics, and exactly how to scale an online tutoring business, and show you exactly how we took an online tutor from earning $1,000 a month to 34 grand in a single month. And we did this over a 60-day period. So let's jump in and I'll show you how to scale your own online tutoring business. So you can see here, here's client's ad account. You can see here when we took over in the month of August, 997 bucks they'd made. First month, September, 12 grand, then 34 grand. The metrics down on the side, you can see here, they got a 24x ROAS. Okay, so this means for every dollar they put in, they got 24 out. I'm going to walk through those metrics throughout the video so that you can actually see what you should be shooting for as an online tutor to have predictability in your student growth. So these results are not a fluke as well. We've also helped teachers like Marcus Smith scale to 50 grand a month. You can see here, that's about 43 grand in pounds if you're UK. So we helped Marcus do that. We also helped Luke scale to 34 grand in 24 hours. And a while ago, you know, we helped Jared hit 31 grand in a single month. That was just after 11 months of working with him. Okay. So these results aren't a fluke. And the cool thing is we helped Sandra and she doesn't even run her ads in English. Okay, so this can transfer across multiple subjects. So before we jump in, I'm going to walk you through the model that we developed back in 2020 and show you how this works and how we've been scaling online tutors. Okay, so we run ads on Meta, okay, Facebook, Instagram, and we use a variety of different funnels to scale the business. I'll show you what we used for Sandra, but look, there's 3 different funnels that you would use as an online tutor. Each is different. There's not a one size fits all. And that's why clients come and work with us, because we're able to look at your business and decide which funnel works best for you. So you use a variety of instant forms, funnels. So like on a Go High Level or something like that, or Click Funnels, where you can send the prospects from your ads to a landing page, or you could even use things like DMs, Instagram DMs, Facebook DMs, whatever. Okay. So those are the 3 kind of vehicles of getting the prospect to the same destination, which is essentially booking onto your calendar. So not using a website or anything like that. From there, what we do is, depending on which vehicle we use, whether it's an instant form or whether it's a funnel page on a funnel building site or Messenger, we then collect email, call data, so we can call people up, SMS them, that type of stuff. And then we also get them into like a Facebook group or get them to follow the Facebook page or whatever, or Instagram page. So we can use what we call power content. And I'm going to walk you through my power content strategy in just a bit as well. So once we've done that, we let the prospects know, once we've captured their information, okay, we let them know how we can help. Okay, so we do that by creating a VSL, so video sales letter, or even just a simple booking page with a calendar on it, okay, with some information around how the tutoring strategy works, right? So we do that, the prospects see it, and then they schedule a call, okay? So you're going to provide a calendar. Before the call on Zoom, we then provide some homework. Super simple homework that pretty much means that the prospects are coming into a call with you, already nurtured, already like kind of understanding, and trust is already being built, so that you're not in any kind of high pressure sales calls or anything like that. You've already got qualified prospects on your calendar turning up to a call, eliminating objections like, hey, you know, we don't want to pay premium rates, or we don't want to, you know, pay for group tutoring. We want one-on-one. So you need to address that up front. And then obviously you need to be able to enroll the student on Zoom. And then we track this. And you can see here, here's our tracker, just like I shared with Sandra's tracker over here. Before we jump into her process and look at some of it, I'm going to walk you through the conversion metrics that we've seen work. Okay. Now, what's really important to know, after seeing thousands of adverts in the online tutoring space, more than anybody else, we've been able to identify like what are the gold standard KPIs for scaling an online tutoring business. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through what they are now. So when you're running ads on Meta or Facebook, you need to get attention. This is the awareness phase, right? And the reason why most tutors don't have an online business that brings in students predictably is they literally just rely on awareness and getting attention. Okay. So running an ad on Meta or on Instagram is simply just getting your ideal students and parents to stick their hand up. Okay. So once you've done that, The key measurement to know if you're getting attention from your ideal prospects is identifying what we call the CTR, click-through rate, okay? And how much it costs for someone to click on your ad. So we look for a 1% or higher CTR, meaning basically out of 1,000 people who see the ad, what percentage of it click, what percentage of people click, okay? So you're shooting for like 1% click, $1 to $2 for a tutoring space. So if we break in the tutoring space, so if we break Sandra's down, you can see here, we were able on our ads, we spent $1,403 and 1.35% click-through rate, CTR. Okay, so we were hitting that. So what we do on our trackers, we turn this green so we know that the ad's getting attention. Now the cost per click is actually a little bit higher than what we wanted to see, right, at 3.85. However, we didn't turn it off because of the other metrics down the funnel. So I've seen a lot of tutors, you know, that when we've looked at their ad accounts and we've looked at their metrics, are actually doing pretty well. But because they're worried about one specific metric on there not being in the green and not hitting KPI, they turn a winning ad off. Okay, so this is why you need to look further down the funnel. Okay, so the ad's getting awareness. People, good amount of people is getting a good click-through rate. The reason why we didn't turn these ads off is because the lead conversion was good. The booking conversion's good. You can see the account's full of green on there, right, which is good. Okay, so let's break that down. And so from the people that click your ads, what you're looking to do is for 20%, okay, of people to give you their contact details. That's the opt-in conversion. So people see your form on Facebook, and we'll have a look at the form in just a sec, or they go to your landing page, or they go to Messenger or whatever. 20% of people who click the ad, we want them to actually follow through and take the next step, okay? And I'll show you Sandra's in just a second. So you can see here again, we had almost like 30% of people providing their contact details, okay? Which meant we got about 107 leads, and we were paying about $13 a lead. You can see here, CPL on the sheet. So to give you an idea, that was across the entire account. We did a little bit of testing. So I load up Sandra's count here. You can see here, you know, we've got the leads, things like that inside of Meta, and you can kind of see what we were paying there. We did run some other tests and things like that, but like that's kind of where we were at, okay? So you can see our account. Now, from there, the ad was simply looking like this. You can see here's a translation. Now, what made the ad work, okay, was getting very specific on the type of student that Sandra was obviously advertising to, okay? So we specifically went on after 5th to 6th graders, okay, but their French and math grades are getting worse, okay? So we targeted specific age range and specific subjects. The reason why that's important for Sandra is because if she targeted everybody, it's not clear who she's the expert for, okay? And so a lot of big tutoring businesses make this mistake just because they can teach a whole range of subjects. They've got a whole range of tutors at their disposal. If you go after everybody, you just blend in, okay? So you've got to be very, very specific. Okay, and it worked for Sandra, as I was saying, because that means she gets one specific student in, so there's no limit on how many students she can actually bring into her business because she's able to group them, right? If you've got a similar student coming in, you can, of course, group them together, which makes the business scalable. There's 3 things that actually make the offer work as well, okay? So one is the model, okay, which is making sure you can run groups. It's scalable, okay, gives you a great platform to scale. Second is the economics, so making sure it's premium priced, you know, so you can charge upfront for your services at a decent amount. That gives you the margins to actually use things like advertising that we're walking through. If you don't have good margins and you're charging monthly, then it's very difficult to keep pouring into growth activities like, you know, Meta, okay? And then the last thing is the one we touched on, getting very specific on the who. Okay, so making sure you've got a premium offer for one type of student. We also combine that with video, as you can see. The reason why we did that is purely because this helps warm up the leads and parents and build trust faster. Look, anybody can hide behind an image. And so when you do run ads here, I'm not saying that images don't work. They can crush it. They can do really well. But if you want to have more qualified prospects as an online tutor on your calendar, then obviously what you need to do is be able to nurture and educate your parents' ideal families sooner. And you can do that through things like video, right? It's a lot easier to build trust establish a rapport, so they jump onto the call. They feel like they already know you, okay? Now, if you don't like video, obviously you could get someone to do this for you, okay? So from there, we've looked at the ad, and we know that we were getting 20% of people to give us our contact details. So what's next? Well, the next part is we collect their email, their call data, phone data, so SMS, that type of stuff. And if possible, we can push them into a Facebook group or get them to follow us on social media. I'll come back to that. We call this power content. It's really important. Okay, so this is what actually helps you close more deals long term. Guys, quick interrupt. I hope you're enjoying the video, but I wanted to make sure you picked up your copy of Teaching on Your Own Terms. It's my best-selling book, and it shares with you the exact 5 steps what I've used with over 2,000 teachers at this point, helping them build their dream online teaching businesses. It went to bestseller in 7 categories. It's been featured by NASDAQ in Times Square, New York City. And I know you're going to love it. Inside of the book, you're going to learn things like how to position yourself as the go-to tutor in the marketplace and the offer that you can create to get your ideal students reaching out and how to communicate that. I'll share with you what I've seen as the best advertising strategies to get in front of new students and parents who want what you've got, how to sell your services, and everything you actually need to include in an online group tutoring business to make sure your students crush it and get great results. There's some free gifts and bonuses in there. I think in the first couple of pages, there's a link. You can go and grab some free gifts on me. But I know you're going to love it. Teaching on Your Own Terms. I'll leave a link down below in the comments and go and pick up your copy today. Once we've done that, the next thing that we want to see, if we go to the tracking sheet in a second, is we want 10 to 20%, ideally 20% of people to book a call with you. Okay, now the reason again why a lot of tutors can't make this work is because they send people to like a website, and therefore they might click on your ads, go to your site, but there's no kind of real clear call to action to get somebody to book in a call with you. So what we do next is we make it very simple. Okay, once we've got the contact details, if I was to load up Sandra's ad account here and give you a little look. So if we scroll down to the form, so we used an instant form for Sandra specifically. So they go through, they enter their details. We ask them a couple of qualifying questions as well. And the reason why we do this, obviously it's in a different language. And the reason why I'm sharing that with you is because this is transferable across all tutoring niches. Right? I showed you at the start would help Marcus, Luke, Jared, completely different subjects. Sandra's doing this in a completely different language as well. Okay, we've validated this process so many times. And so what we do is we answer it, or we give the parents and students a little bit of a quiz. That means that anyone who's kind of not qualified, we can add a filter in place so we don't let them come through. Okay, so once we've added the filter, we might ask a couple of questions. So for you, if you're a tutor, it could be things like what age range to make sure you've got that right age coming through the funnel. It might be asking goal-based questions like what's their goal or what grade are they aiming for to make sure that you've actually got the high achievers coming through. So you can add a few qualifying questions in there. You then collect the contact details you can see on the screen. And then from there, real simply, you give your prospects, you can set this all up in Meta, you give your prospects the next steps and you get them to book in a call. Okay, so you can see here, book consultation. Okay, so if we go back to this, we then get them to book in a call. Now, sometimes what you can do, you can also get someone to see a video or something like that first to give them some more information and explain how what you do works. Okay, so that could be something you could use as well. A little bit more advanced. We didn't need to use this with Sandra. We just got them to book in a call. Okay. But you can absolutely send them to some sort of VSL, which could be situated on a funnel builder page that details kind of how what you do works for your students. Okay. You are going to build more trust with that. If you've got a much higher ticket offer, like you're selling $3,000 plus, would absolutely recommend that. Okay. Now from there, the next thing is the show up rate. Okay, so we were getting calls booked on Sandra's calendar, as you could see. If we load up her tracker, we want 50 to 75% of people who book a call to show up. Okay, 50 is bare minimum. 75 is like gold standard, like you're going to crush it with that. So if we load up Sandra's tracker here, now on here, if we go through, we can see leads into bookings, 78%. Yeah, so we're crushing that target. As I said, like 10% is the target at bare minimum. Okay, ideally 20. 78% of people who gave Sandra her contact details booked in to speak with her. The reason why is because, of course, her ad is so specific, targeting a specific parent, giving them exactly what they want. So because it's so targeted, they desire it more. Okay, and because she used video, they feel like They already know her. Okay, so 78% of people booked in, and then from those 84 bookings that we generated, and we were paying, by the way, you can see here, cost per booking, $16 per booking. 77% of people showed up for the call. Okay, now as I said, 50% be bare minimum you want to shoot for, 75 gold standard. So this light turned green on her tracker. We knew we were, we knew we had the funnel working. From then on, it's really just a case of closing calls. Now, by closing calls, I mean enrolling the students once you speak to them. Now, a lot of tutors, where they go wrong with this, I'm going to walk you through what you can do, and I'll touch back on my content strategy in just a sec. If you just expect someone to see an ad, so if we load this up, if you just expect someone to see an ad over here, and they click an ad, they go into like a form, instant form like Sandra is using, or a funnel page, or into DMs, Messenger, and then just book a call on your calendar, and they're going to rock up to the Zoom call, and they're going to be paying you a premium rate, and they're going to want group tutoring over one-on-one. Like, think again. This is why a lot of tutors can't make ads work. It's because they don't have the acquisition machine in place. Okay. So you need to pre-sell your services as students and parents are coming in qualified and bought in. So what we did was we created a simple homework document for Sandra just here before she spoke to the students on Zoom. So again, Sandra's is in completely different language. Super simple. It just details the 3 ways that she helps her students. You can see here, 1, 2, 3, and just gets the parents and students excited coming into the call. So that way, when they turn up, they kind of already know how it works, right? They know how it works. They know she can help. And then on the call, it's really just about how Sandra can make this work for the student. And so that leads me on to the last bit. She then has the call on Zoom, and she's looking to get 25% of people who she speaks to. So essentially just 1 in 4, that would be great. Enroll into her tutoring program. And you see here on her stats, we had 46% of people, okay, enroll, okay? Now, here's the key thing. So there's the metrics that we've broken down. What makes this system work, okay, is all the way from the top. I mentioned the great offer in the ads, premium price point, and a scalable delivery model. So having groups, so you've got the foundations to scale and you don't have to turn your ads off. We went through that on Sandra. It was very targeted. She used video to build trust. We used a simple instant form, so no confusing websites. We collected then the details, name, email, phone number. We also qualified the prospects to add a filter in there. And then we sent them to her calendar, okay? Then we provided some homework, and then we delivered a Zoom consultation, okay? And then we tracked this to make sure that we were hitting those metrics I identified all the way through the funnel. Now, here's the thing. Most tutors don't make this work because they rely just on the ad, or they get to the Zoom call and they don't have any follow-up things in play. So you can see here, I've got these arrows just here that go back to our content strategy. So what you need to be doing is we use what we call power content. Okay, so there's a few different things. I'm going to walk you through this in just a sec, because not everyone's going to enroll straight away. Okay, plus not everybody's about to book a call. You saw here on Sandra's, I think basically everybody did book a call with Sandra's metrics, 78% of leads. Okay, but there's an extra 20% there. I mean, even if she was at 10%, which would be miles off where she is here, there would be 90% of people who hadn't booked a call. So what do we do with those people? Okay. And what about the people who didn't show up to the call? What about the people who she had a conversation with, but didn't want to enroll right away? Well, what you need to do is then now you've got their contact details, you can keep marketing to them. Okay. So instead of just being an advertiser trying to turn cold traffic immediately from your ads into paying students, it doesn't work like that, right? You use what we call a student acquisition machine. So you bring them back into the funnel from Zoom if they didn't enroll, into our email marketing, into our SMS automations, calling them up, providing content. So this could be on your social media accounts in Facebook groups or school groups, Instagram, wherever. Then you keep pushing them back to your calendar or your VSL. So when they're ready, they rebook back in and then they enroll. Okay. So to give you an idea, years and years ago, like I built out video content layering strategy where we show our clients how to scale and build their brand. Okay. So there's 3 things, there's 3 buckets but clients need to see so you can keep marketing to them. Because if you think about when you get an ad, so all of these leads that Sandra was getting, right? All of those leads, think of them as seeds, okay? So a farmer plants seeds, the seeds grow into crop, right? The only reason that happens is because the farmer keeps watering them, fertilizing them, or whatever. So eventually the seeds grow into crop. And so a lot of teachers just don't water their seeds. So what we taught Sandra to do is provide power content in a few different buckets, which I'll walk you through, so that down the line, the leads that didn't enroll now, or the calls that didn't enroll, they will eventually enroll. So it creates an entire conveyor belt so she can keep growing her business, okay? So if we look at this content layering strategy, there's 3 buckets to this. You need to be creating content and have this on your social media profiles at 3 different levels. First is cold, okay? So cold people is people who are unaware of what you do. They've never seen you before, okay? And the reason why that's important is because people might initially see your ads, okay? So people might have seen Sandra's ad here, and then who is this person? Like, who is she? They don't even click the form. They just click her profile name, okay? That could take them, based on if they saw this on Meta, so on Facebook or Instagram, it takes them to the profile. And so if your profiles are now structured in a way that you've got educational content on there, they immediately resonate and connect with you, okay? And then when they see your ad again the next time, because you've warmed them up, they're now aware of you, then they're probably going to give you their contact details. Okay, so just because you're advertising, you're not getting leads, if your profiles are structured correctly, then you're going to be able to long-term be able to nurture those leads or make them desire what you've got. Okay, so first things first is cold. Now, what you want to be talking about here is creating content around, we call it your unique learning method. So basically how you help your students. So these can be like little things like how-to videos, that type of stuff, core problems that you see students have, steps that stand in the way of students going from where they are now to the results that you deliver for them. So just some kind of basic how-to videos, study skills, things like that. Okay. So that's what people who are completely unaware need to see, because you need to provide value. Okay. Then from there, you've got people. So this is where this really works. People who are warm, people who have seen your posts. So this could be people who've engaged with your posts, people who follow you on social media. They've became a lead, as we were talking about, but they haven't booked a call. Okay. And then people who've booked a call, perhaps not enrolled. You spoke to them on Zoom. Maybe group tutoring was their objection. They didn't want a group tutor, right? Or they visited your website or whatever. Okay. Your warm content, you need to market to these people slightly differently. And these are the people in this part of the funnel. Because now you've got their contact details. They're now in here. You can repurpose this content you create. You can have it on your social media profiles. You can have it and send it as an email because you've got their contact details, and everything is designed to push them back when they're ready into your site to go ahead and book a call with you. Okay. So this can be things about you, like your origin story, why you started your tutoring business, what it is you do for your students, your unique views on your subject and education, and your even philosophy about education and life. So this is building trust now, and people are starting to buy into you. So they start to see your way, your tutoring method is the only way to help them. Okay. Again, you can be talking about how your kind of learning process works, how you help your students. You could share at this point, like more in-depth lesson stuff up front, how you help students get results, things like that. Okay. Proof-based content, testimonials, case studies, if you've got them, that type of stuff. So this works great at the warm stage once you've collected people's contact details. And then what you can do, bucket 3, this is a mix of like direct response marketing, so retargeting ads, things like that. So this is where you're giving compelling call to actions, right? CTAs, reminders to book in a call with you. And so we do this through email, because once we've got someone's contact details, they initially saw the ad and gave you contact details for a reason. So why not follow up and nurture your leads? Otherwise, you're leaving a ton of money on the table. Okay. So we do that through email marketing. Again, we can create retarget ads, power content on the social media. So when people keep revisiting you, now they're following you, they keep seeing your offers. Okay. They keep seeing your direct call to actions to remind them to book back in a call or how you can help. So we do that. And you could even be then answering things like objections through this as well. So if you think about, you had a Zoom call, perhaps with a parent or student, then you're going to want, and they didn't enroll, perhaps because whether it was price point, whether it was group tutoring wasn't what they wanted, okay? Then you're going to want to create content around why it is effective. So when they start seeing it, eventually you're able to shift their perspective, okay? So that way they come back into your system, they book back in a call, and this time they're ready. Okay. So that's really how this process works. That's how we scaled Sandra, as you saw here, to hit 34 grand in a single month. And how we did that was the great offer. It was a predictable system to bring leads in, and then making sure the advertising metrics, and the reason why this works so well, the advertising gives us data. So we can improve each of the elements through the funnel, make sure the lead opt-in rate is good, make sure leads into bookings good, make sure booking to showing up, and then the call into an actual enrollment is good. And so it's an entire system. Now look, if you watch this video and you want to scale your own online tutoring business, we'll leave a link down below. You can book in a call with us and we'll show you how we'll set this up and install it into your business for you and help you dial it in. Hope you enjoyed that. See you in the next one.